Hello everyone, good afternoon. My name is Opeyemi Agbaje. Welcome to Fitness TV. So what we're doing this afternoon is big brand logo designs, replicating different big brand logo design. And before we go into that, we'd like to see what our logo is, types of logos, and many more. Okay, so logo design. Logo is a symbol made up of text and images that identify businesses. And then we have, what does a logo do? So the first thing we have on the list here is a logo makes you stand out from the competition. A logo identify key information about your business. A logo build brand recognition. And then we have, what are elements of a logo? Typography, imagery, color, and contrast. Types of logo. We have 7 different types of logo. We have the monogram logo, wordmark logo, pictorial mark logo, abstract, mascot logo, the combination mark, and then the emblem logo. So let's look at them one after the other. So the monogram logo, or it's also called a lettermark logo, are logos that consist of letters, usually brand initials. Examples are IBM, CNN, HP, HBO. And then we also have different examples of monogram logo. We have NASA, for example. And then, so let's look at the second one, which is wordmark. A wordmark or logo type, also called logo type, is a font-based logo that focuses on business name only, just the business name only, and then the designer just pick a particular kind of font, a very nice font, and then use for the logos. So examples are Coca-Cola, and then we have many more. So it's just wordmark. And then the third one we have here is a pictorial mark, sometimes called brand mark or logo symbol. It's an icon or graphics based logo. So pictorial logos are logos you see and then you already have an image of what you're looking at in your head already. Example of that is an Apple logo. With the name itself, Apple. So what you're already seeing is something that looks like an apple and then a bite out of it. And then we have the fourth one here, an abstract mark. It's a special type of pictorial logo. Instead of it being recognizable image like an apple or a bird, that's a Twitter logo. It's an abstract geometric form that represents your business. So an abstract logo and logo you look like that doesn't really have a meaning to you at the first look, but it also have an hidden meaning in them. So example of that is MasterCard. And then the fifth one, we have the mascot logo. Mascot logos are logos that involve an illustrated character, often colorful, sometimes cartoonish. Examples of that is we have KFC, we have Pringles, and then let's move to the sixth one, which we have the combination mark logo. So with the name itself, combination mark logo comprises of all the types of logo we have, starting from monogram, wordmark, pictorial, abstract, and all of that. So it has a combination of all in one logo. Okay, so we have an emblem logo. An emblem logo consists of fonts inside a symbol or an icon. So these are logo we see in government agencies, schools, all those logo that has to do with badges. So that's where emblem comes in. And then, so this is the class exercise we'll be doing. So these are the big brand logos we'll be replicating. Adidas, we'll start with Adidas, and then Apple, Chanel, and then Tesla. Thank you, and then let's move to, so we'll be using Illustrator for this class. So let's move to Illustrator. Okay, so this class is not really it's not a beginner level, but if you've already been using Illustrator, you should be familiar with my screen right now. So I already create my artboard, and then I'm using A4 landscape, and then it's already named as big brand logo. Okay, so what we're doing first is the Adidas logo. So I'll be mentioning the tools I'm using and then the shortcuts I'm also using so we can understand better. Okay, so the first thing I'll be doing right now is starting with the Adidas logo. So we come to our ellipse tool, which is the first tool we have on my screen right here. But on your own Illustrator, it might not be, but it's always there. And then if you're finding it hard to look for your tool or you don't know the name of your tool, just over on the tool and then you see the name right there. Okay, so let's start with the Adidas logo. So we go to our circle, and then so we draw a circle. Now we want a perfect circle because right now I'm just using my mouse to drag the circle and then I'm not getting the perfect circle. So we hold down our shift to get a perfect circle. Okay, so I'll make that not too big, but something like this is fine. Okay, so I'll be duplicating the circle now by holding down my Alt key on my keyboard, and then you duplicate. Okay, so I'll make it come here, something around this side is fine. Okay, so I'll align these two together to select both, and then I'll come down here to my Pathfinder. So if you can't find your Pathfinder here, you go to your Windows, and then it should be under, yeah, it's right here, in case you don't have it on your screen. Okay, so let's do that again. So I'll highlight this and then move to my Pathfinder. So I'll select wedge. So I'll select weld. So it's weld this two shape together for me. So then we should have this after doing that. Okay, so I'll come to my direct selection tool because after doing that, I want to select some particular node. So I'm not adjusting any of them at the same time. So I'll only adjust these three nodes right here. So I'll highlight just these three nodes to select them. So we can see when I'm selecting this, we have a very dark fill inside. And then the one I'm not selecting, we have an outline. Okay, so I'll move this downward. I'll hold my shift while moving so it's maintain the straight line. Okay, so I'll do that. So I think this is fine for me. Okay, so let's okay, so I think this apple is like kind of too big, so let's go over the step again. Okay, so I just took that out and then come here and then so same process from the beginning. Draw a circle. I'll move it to the side so I can duplicate. Hold down your Alt key, duplicate this, and then oh yeah, so this is fine. I like both of the together and then you weld them. Okay, so we have this. So let me just position that at the middle. Click on your direct selection tool, select these three nodes down here, and then you drag this down holding your shift key. Okay, so I think that's fine. So I'll just minimize this. All right. Okay, so for the Apple logo, we don't really have this as a sharp edge, and same thing as this. So I'll come back to my direct selection tool, select this, and then click on this node I have here to make it a curved edge, and then I'll drag that down, and then I have this. Do the same thing at the one at the top right here. Drag up so it's have a curve there, and then that's it. Okay, so I'll move this a little bit and then come back to my ellipse tool again, and then hold your shift to draw a circle, very small one, not as big as the first one, and then we move this right here. Okay, I think this is fine for me because I want to cut out this from the original first shape. Okay, so I'll adjust this to make it how I want. So I think this is fine. And then same process, I like to select both at the same time and then we minus. All right, when you hover on anything on your Illustrator, you see the name and then the function. Okay, so I'll minus this right now and then we have this. Now we come back to our circle and then draw another very small one like this. So we're duplicating this now. Okay, so we duplicate and then yeah, this is fine. So same process, select and then we select the intersect. So we have the one at the middle. Okay, now I'll bring this up here and then rotate. So when you need to rotate, just move your cursor out of the shape and then you see the rotating tool and then you rotate. Okay, so I'll move this way. I think this is fine for me. Okay, let me adjust a little bit. Yeah, this is okay. And then I'll highlight all together and then give it the color. So I'll give this black. Okay, and then take out my outline. All right, now we have our Apple logo. So this is our Apple logo. So now let's go to Adidas logo. Okay, now we have our Apple logo right here. So let's minimize that. So I'll create another artboard. I'll create another artboard right here. So this is my artboard here. When you hover on it, you see the name of the tool. This is my artboard right here. So I'll duplicate this and then take this out. So I'm zooming closer to my artboard so we can start Adidas logo. Okay, so same process. So I think I'll be using circle for like 3 of the logos we'll be doing. So let's draw a ellipse tool, another circle. Now I'll take out my fill so we can actually see what I'm doing exactly. Okay, so I'll move this way and then hold my Alt key on your keyboard. So when you hold your Alt key and trying to duplicate something, your cursor arrow have 2 different arrows. That means it's active to duplicate. So I'll hold that down and then move it towards the end. Okay, this is fine. And then I'll select both at the same time. Okay, after doing that, and then I'll intersect because I want this shape at the middle. I don't want the full circle, I just want this shape at the middle. Then I'll do intersect. Then I have that. Okay, so let me just move this up to position that well. Now I'll duplicate this again. Remember when we're duplicating, we hold down our Alt key and then we drag out. Okay, so I'll do this. So this is fine for me. So what I need to do to this shape now is to rotate it. Okay, so you look for your rotate tool on your toolbar right here. So my rotate tool should be here. So this is my rotate tool. And then my anchor point now is at the middle. So because I want to rotate and I don't want this to move, so I need to move my anchor point right here. So it's pinned this down for me so I can rotate this way. Okay, so after rotating that, I'll move it closer to the first shape we drew. Okay, this is fine. And then now we need to duplicate this. Remember on our Adidas logo, we have another thing like this at this other side. So we need to duplicate this. So now we reflect and then we copy the same shape we're reflecting. So we have a duplicate of it. Now to do that, we right click and then we select transform. Now click on transform. We have the option here, reflect. So can you see, we can already see that it's previewing because my preview is on right here. So it's here already. So what I just need to do is copy. That means I'm reflecting and then I'm also copying the shape. Okay, so we select copy and then we have 2 of these. So one facing the side, one facing the other side. That's because I selected copy. So we'll move it this way. So by moving, you can use your keyboard directions, or you just hold down your shift key and then you move with your mouse or your cursor, anyone. Okay, so now we have these. So what I need to do now is just select these 3 together, and now I can add my fill and then remove my outline. Okay, so we have these. I might want to really zoom closer to this very well so I can get access to every shape I'm adjusting right here. Okay, so I'm moving these closer to each other, and then I'll select my rectangle tool So I can have this white space we have right here. So I'll draw something like this. So I'll be changing the color so we can all see the effect of what I'm making on my screen. Okay. All right. So I'll drag this down. Okay, I think that's fine. So I'm duplicating now. You hold down your Alt key and then you drag up. Hold down your Alt key and then you drag up. Okay, so now we have that. So I'll select these three shapes together, the red one. So I want to make sure the space I have in between this red shape are equal. So I'll come down to my align right here and then select under distribute object, select vertical distribute center. So I'm actually right, so it's still the same thing. Okay, and then after doing that, so I'll select everything together including the original shape I drew, and then I'll come down here and then just over on every two on your Pathfinder. So I'll be using divide now because I need to break every shape right here. So I'll click divide now, and then so for me to access what I just did, I need to ungroup it because it's grouped everything together for me. So I have to ungroup. So by ungrouping, you right click and then you select ungroup. Now I can decide to start deleting this one by one, but I won't do that. So I'll just highlight every red. Just make sure when you're highlighting, you're not selecting any other shape you don't want. Okay, so I'll select this red and then delete. Select this red, other one here, click delete. And then we do this to this one, so delete. Now we'll zoom closer. So on the original logo, we don't have this space in between this shape, so we need to clear that up. So I'll be using my pencil now to draw a rectangle on this. Okay, same thing here. So everyone should know how to use a pencil already. Just create a start point and then you continue and then you close. Okay, so we have that there. So I'm going back to my selection tool right now and then select these together. So I'll weld them together. So we can also call that unite. All right, now we have these. So let's select and then change everything to the color we want, which is the black. And now we're done with the Adidas logo. So I just want to highlight this and make it big a little bit. Okay. All right, so let me just weld everything together so I don't get to adjust anyone. Okay, so this is fine. So now let's create the third artboard. So we already know how to create artboard now. Select the artboard tool and then hold down your Alt key and drag out. So we have this right here. So what we'll do now is we take this out and then we'll be doing the channel logo. Okay, outline. So we can all see any effect I'm doing on my screen. Now we need to duplicate this, but if I use my Alt key on my keyboard to duplicate, it won't still be on the same position. So for it to be on the same position, I'll activate my scale tool, which you can do that by clicking your S on your keyboard and then you drag your mouse from the outer part of the circle by holding your shift and then Alt at the same time, and then you drag down. Okay, sorry, that's bring out the scale. So our anchor point has changed, so we need to move our anchor point to the middle and then go back to your pick tool. Don't forget to go back to your selection tool. So activate the scale tool by clicking the S on your keyboard and then hold down your shift and the Alt key and then you drag. And then you select down here to our polygon tool. So just click to get your okay, so we want the side to be 3 side. Okay, so we'll hold down and then make this big. So let's move it down and then rotate. So while rotating, I'll be holding down my shift key to make sure it snaps when I need it to be. Okay, so I'll move this to the intersect of the circle here, which is the center. Yeah, so this is what we're trying to do. And then, okay, I think I want this to be a little bit big. So you hold down your shift and alt so it resides all points at the same time. So we readjust this to the center. Okay, that's the intersect, so that's the middle. Okay, and then we alight the three together. Now you select the shape builder tool because we're trying to open some nodes and lines that are there. So select the shape builder tool. So start from here and then draw. So once I'm dragging, it's taking out the line that is there. So to this end, now we don't have any line here anymore. So go back to your selection tool and then we delete this out. So after doing that, let's add a fill to this and then remove our outline. Okay, so now we have that. So same step we did to duplicate some shapes from the Adidas. So that's the same process we used to duplicate this shape right here. So by right clicking and then transform. So now we are reflecting and then we are also copying. So we are not using the original shape. We're just copying the original shape and then reflecting what we copied. So we select copy. Now we have this. So you hold down your shift and then we move this out. So this is fine. Okay, so now we're done with the channel logo. So let's just resize that to the middle. Okay, so I just selected both at the same time and then we weld them together so we can select them every time we're trying to move. Okay, so let's minimize and see where we have so far. Okay, so we've done 3 logo. So we have 1 to go. So we have Apple, we have Adidas, and then we have Chanel. Okay, so let's click and then duplicate our artboard by holding down our Alt key. Okay, and then we delete that. So I'm clicking on Z right here to zoom closer. Okay, so the last logo we have here is Tesla. Okay, yeah, Tesla. All right. So for that now we'll be using the rectangle tool. So what we just need to do is draw. So now we don't need a perfect rectangle, so we don't need to hold down our shift on the keyboard. So we just have to drag and then draw till it fits how you want it to look. All right, so I think this is fine. Okay, so what we just need to do now is we go to effect and then we click on wrap. So under wrap we have other effects there. So we need just this arc. And then I think this is too much for kind of cover one, so we'll be using 25. All right, so 25 is fine. So we can preview to see the difference. So let's try 50 so we can see what I'm actually talking about. Now this is 50, so this is too much. We don't want something like this. So I'll do Ctrl Z, just go back and then we select effect again, wrap, and then we do arc. Okay. So 25 is fine, right? 25, and then we say okay. All right, so now we will use our expand appearance so we can make this. Now we can see we have our shape as curve, but the outline out here is still not a curve. So for us to achieve that, we'll go to our object and then we select expand appearance. Now when we move our objects, it's moved together with the original outline. Okay, so after doing that, we come back to our rectangle and then we draw another rectangle. So we are drawing another rectangle but a little bit bigger than what we did before, and then we increase the width now, but not the we're increasing the height now but not the width. Okay, so this is fine. All right, and then so click out. So I'm clicking out to go back to my pick selection tool and then I'm selecting my rectangle to again, so we'll draw a smaller one, and then we make that a round rectangle by coming to your direct selection, and then these two small points you have at the middle, just drag them closer to each other, and then we have a curved edge. Okay, so I'll make this an outline so we can see what I'm trying to do very well, because we have same black color there, we might not really see the effect of what I'm doing. So I'll take out my fill, and then I'll be using my outline. So I'll use red. All right, so now we can see the difference from the black and the red. Okay, so I'll just move this in. All right, so I think I need to zoom closer and then also increase this a little bit. Yeah, this is fine. So I need to also make sure it's at the middle. Okay, yeah. All right. So I'll move this down like this. So I don't want it to be equal sizes there. Then I'll select both at the same time. Now I'm cutting out this red outline from the black. So I'll be using minus. Okay, so I'll select under my Pathfinder. There's a minus effect there. Just select and then it's cut out this. Okay, so I'll do the same process I did for this first one. So because we also need to make it curve like this. So I'll do the same process right here by selecting this now. And then so we go to effect and then we select wrap and then we do arc. Okay, so now we have this now, and then so when we look at this very well, the space we have in here, it's not the same space as the space we have at the middle. So we need to make sure that is equal. So we select this. So we make this let's try 26 if that work. Okay, I think 28 will be fine. 28, and then we say okay. Okay, so now we have it as equal size. So same process of making this outline same as the way our shape looks. So we come here to under your object, we select expand. Okay, so we have that. So you can decide to move this down if you feel the space in between is too much, and then you can close it up if you feel it's not enough. Okay, all right. So when we look at our Tesla logo, we have here it's a bit curved. We don't have a sharp edge, so it's curved. So we also need to make our own curve too. So we'll do that by selecting our ellipse tool so we can cut out some parts. Okay, so I'll make this an outline. All right, so let me use a red outline because I already have a black there, so we can see what I'm trying to do very well. Okay, so you might also need to zoom closer so you can have access to edit every shape very well. Okay, so we'll do this. All right, so this is already at the point where we want it to be. It's already here, so we need to adjust this to make sure it fits. So we might need to increase or you might need to decrease. Anyone that works for you. Okay. All right, so we might need to adjust like very, very well. Okay. All right, so I'll still need to move this down. Remember, because we need to make sure it's a curve. I still need to zoom closer and then we still need to move down. All right, now this is fine. So let's minimize that and then we duplicate this by holding down your Alt and then we drag this right here. So it fits the same way. Okay, so let's adjust and then we fix this very well too. Okay. All right, if you mistakenly move any of your shape, don't forget to just do Ctrl Z to undo anything you just did there. All right, so this is what we want. So I just wanted to clear that point and then we have that. Okay, so we should be having this. So I'm alighting to select everything at the same time and then I'll divide. because I want to divide all the shape and then take out the things I don't need. So under my Pathfinder right here, just over, you see the name divide. So I have divide and I'll select divide. Okay, so we might not see any effect right now, but because we need to ungroup and then we'll see the effect we just made. Okay, now we can start deleting some parts one by one. So I just took that out. This one, we don't need this. Okay, we don't need this. Remember, we don't need this. We don't need this one. We don't need this one too. And then we don't need this. Okay, so let's zoom closer to this so we can delete some parts from this. Yeah, this one right here. And then let's minimize that back. So we do the same thing as the other side here, and then we take this out. Now we have this curve right here. Okay, so what we have to do now, let's take a look at our Tesla logo again, okay? And then what we need to do now is we use a polygon tool, but we use the 3 size polygon. All right, so it's already on 3. We just say okay, and then we reflect this horizontally. All right, select reflect and then click on horizontal, and then we select OK. Now we're not trying to copy, that's why we're not selecting copy. We're just trying to rotate this one alone, and then we drag this down. Okay, are we good? And then we can also just adjust this if it's too big, and then make sure it's at the middle. Okay, all right, we have that. So we have something that looks like another shape right here. So what we need to do again is we're still using our polygon, and then we select, so still 3, and then we click OK. So we are changing this color to white. All right, we select white, and then we do the same process of reflecting. Okay, and then we reflect horizontally. So let's reduce the size of this a little bit, and then remove it right here. Okay, so this is too much. Let's say something around here. It's fine. All right. So now what we need to do now is, okay, I think we copied that one. So what we need to do now, we select all, and then we do the shape builder tool so we can take out. But now we are removing some parts. So we need to hold down our Alt key, so it's minus. And then we take this out. So we don't have any lines here, or any line holding it here, or any line holding it here. And that's the end of our Tesla logo. So we have our Tesla logo right now. And then let's just select all together. So you can just merge down, sorry. Ctrl G to group. Okay. And then we have this. Okay, so we've achieved the 4 logo we said we'll be doing, which is the Apple logo, the Adidas logo, the Chanel logo, and then the Tesla logo. So we're at the end of this section already. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We see you in the next class. Thank you.